Okay, am I pretty? No. Now I'm pretty. There is a moment in almost every interaction with modern technology where a decision is presented as optional while quietly being anything but. A checkbox, a slider, a drop-down menu already filled in. We're told we can change it later. We almost never do. This video is not about any specific setting. It's about why default settings feel invisible, inevitable and strangely powerful. And why, most of the time, they decide things for us long before we think we're involved. A default setting is not the absence of a choice. It is a choice that has already been made. Someone, somewhere decided that this option should be the starting point. Not because it is perfect for everyone, but because it is acceptable for most people. Defaults are optimized for friction reduction, not correctness. They're designed to minimize complaints, not maximize understanding. And crucially, they're sticky, because changing a default requires effort, attention, and confidence. Three things most users do not have at the moment they encounter them. When we first see a default setting, we're usually busy. Installing something, signing up for something, trying to get to the part we actually care about. The default feels like a recommendation, or worse, like a requirement. Changing it feels like admitting you know better. And most of the time, we're not convinced we do. So we accept it. Not because we agree, but because we want to move on. This is not laziness, it's prioritization under uncertainty. Defaults tell stories. They imply what is normal, what is expected, what is worth thinking about. If privacy is off by default, privacy becomes an advanced feature. If notifications are on by default, silence becomes a deviation. If a feature is enabled automatically, it becomes part of the baseline experience. Over time, these choices shape behavior. Not through force, but through repetition. We adapt to the defaults and then forget they were ever optional. Because defaults fade into the background, their consequences accumulate quietly. You don't notice the battery drain immediately, or the extra emails, or the subtle shift in how you use a tool. Each individual effect is small, but they stack. And because you didn't actively choose them, they feel strangely unchallengeable. Like, that's just how things work now. At some point, the default becomes reality. Customization is often framed as empowerment, but it comes with a cost. Every option requires knowledge. Every toggle demands justification. Every change carries the risk of making things worse. Defaults, by contrast, offer plausible deniability. If something goes wrong, it wasn't your fault. You just left things as they were. This makes defaults psychologically safe, even when they are objectively suboptimal. There is a quiet assumption that people who care will change settings. That awareness naturally leads to action. This is mostly untrue. Even experienced users leave defaults untouched if the system seems stable enough. Familiarity breeds acceptance, not scrutiny. The idea of the power user mostly serves to justify complexity. It allows systems to offload responsibility onto individuals, while still controlling the initial experience. Sometimes defaults reflect technical constraints, sometimes business incentives, sometimes cultural assumptions. But once deployed, they take on moral weight. They define what is normal use, what is advanced, what is edge case. Over time, they stop looking like decisions and start looking like facts. And facts are rarely questioned. Going back into settings weeks or months later feels different. Now you're disrupting a working system. You hesitate, you scroll, you wonder if it's worth it. At that point, changing a default is no longer casual, it is an intervention. And most of the time, we decide it's fine, good enough, not worth the trouble. Defaults are not evil, they're necessary. But they're not neutral either. They are opinions encoded quietly into interfaces. They shape behavior not through persuasion, but through absence of resistance. And the reason they're so powerful is simple. They ask nothing of us. Until much later, we realize they've been deciding things all along.